Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Selena Roane here. Days, and you to be safe out there as you go visit. Tonight, we have a really, really cool guest I've been wanting to speak with for quite some time. Her name is Heather Nowak. She is the Director of Programs for Sloss Furnaces. Heather, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing well this afternoon. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited to be coming out to your location. It's like one of my top 10 bucket list paranormal bucket list locations that I've been wanting to investigate. And so tell us, how in the world did you get hooked up as being the Director of Programs for one of the most haunted locations in the United States?
It's actually a really kind of long story. So about 10 years ago, I was doing my undergraduate work at UAB, University of Alabama at Birmingham, in history. I was getting a degree in history. So I had taken a couple of classes with the curator at Sloss, and through knowing her, getting to know her, and through one of the classes, it was a history of industry, basically. She taught this class about Southern industry, and so she brought us for a tour at Sloss. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is the most coolest places I've ever been. And so I said, how can I get involved? I told Ken, I was like, I really want to help out where I can. And, so I just started volunteering, and I just never left. So I started volunteering about 10 years ago, and then I did an internship there when I was doing my graduate work, and so I guess it was 4 years ago or so now, the education coordinator, she happened to leave her position there, and the director said, well, do you want the job? And I was like, well, yeah.
Well, duh.
Yeah. And so I took that job, and then in 2010 they created the position Director of Programs for me. So it's been a long history, and it's been fun. It's been exciting. I still love every second of it.
Wow. That place, when you just look at the pictures, you can see how extremely creepy it is. And having you on tonight, I'm kind of wanting to let everyone know that's coming to the Sloss event. If you're not coming, you're missing out. I've heard so many things about this place. I've been challenged, actually, by Barry Klinge. He's been there several times. And he challenged me to stay in the tunnels with him as long as I could take it. Can you tell us a little bit of why he's challenging me to that? Like what the claims are with the tunnel that he's actually talking about?
Well, it seems that a lot of people really have all kinds of experiences down there. We've had people running out of there, running and screaming, totally convinced that someone has touched them. We've even had reports of, kind of some violent activity going on, people getting hit and things like that. But, it's a lot of physical experiences. A lot of people have some really crazy pictures that they've taken down in the tunnels of, apparitions and things like that. I've actually seen a really, really creepy picture down in that area before. It looks like a man was basically kind of like sitting off to the side up against the wall. And, I mean, there was no explanation of why or what that could have been besides, a form, a shape sitting there. It was just crazy.
Wow.
I could not explain. I could not come up with a reason why anything would have looked like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
It's just a really, really creepy place.
I did a promo video to kind of promote the event, and the pictures that I were getting. Yeah, thank you. The pictures that I was getting was like, the things that I've been hearing were, when Blaine was on the show, he did, of course, his research when he's been there several times, and he said that they used to pay them in like these little coins that you could only use at the company store.
Yeah,
now, it's kind of like it kind of sounded to me like they were getting them right off the boat, he said, bringing them down and telling them, you got a job, we got you hooked up, don't worry about it. And it was kind of like a modern-day form of slavery.
Absolutely. So
can you tell us a little bit about the payments and the store and how that worked for payment and stuff like that when they would get paid? Okay.
Yeah. So they actually called it the Iron Plantation, going back to how slavery was run. It was kind of those same practices were used when industry came in. So they did kind of have opportunities that they wouldn't have had. A lot of people who come to work at Sloth, they lived on the farm. They were ex-sharecroppers and things like that. So when they would come to Sloth, they did at least have a doctor's office. They had a school for the kids to go to school at. So that was kind of a good aspect. But then again, we talked about the clacker. And so when they would get paid, the clacker was only good in the company store. So basically, you would get paid, and then to get the things that you needed, you had to go right back to the company and get that money right back to them. That's where the song that "Oh My Soul to the Company Store" comes from. And right, Sloth was just one of many different places using this type of payment. Now, after the 20s or so, they kind of stopped that practice. But then again, the company pays you, you live in their housing, you have to shop in their store. So, I mean, they basically get, everything back that they put into those workers.
It sounds kind of like a Walmart worker. They work their butts off stocking the shelves and do, cashier and whatever they do there. And then, of course, every week when they get their paycheck, they go right back and spend it at Walmart on groceries and whatever they need. So it's kind of like that type of thing.
So Barry had everything that they needed, the furniture and the fabrics that they would use to, make their clothes.
Wow.
Everything was in the company store that they needed. So that's where they would go, and they would give that money right back to the company.
That is crazy. And they call them clackers. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Well, that's...
Yeah, I've heard it called strip, clacker, and the funniest one is doogaloo. I've heard it called that as well.
So how many people that you know of actually perished or died there on the property? Do you have an idea, a number?
To be honest with you, no. Because...
Wow.
Again, talking about, wanting, labor was indispensable back in those days. There was no OSHA or anything like that. So
there was no records.
Right. They didn't keep records because, if you heard of, 2 or 3 accidents happening a day, you wouldn't want to necessarily go work at that place. Or,
right.
a wife wouldn't say, no, you're not going to work at Sloth. I mean, look, they have, so many deaths happening, a week or a month. So they didn't keep records. And I know the majority of these accidents that would have happened would have been prior to 1927 because they mechanized in 1927 where they brought in a lot of labor-saving machinery and devices and things like that. So it became more automated at that point. But prior to 1927, the work was done by hand. And so that one was really, really, really extremely dangerous. So once they kind of mechanized, kind of the human hands-on aspect was kind of taken away, but it was still extremely dangerous to work there. No matter what part of the process you're dealing with, it's extremely hot, it's loud, it's dangerous. So I do know that we had, maybe 30 or so different reports of stories that retired workers have told us and things like that about people perishing, in what we would call the modern era. So deaths and accidents wouldn't have happened as commonly as they would have prior to 1927,
but it was still extremely dangerous, and we have no idea how many people lost their lives.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there was a machine that a guy kind of got stuck. Didn't he get kind of eat up in, or he got caught up in it or something? And there's reports of things happening around that area.
Yeah.
Where would that be in Schloss?
That's one of our major areas. It's called the blower engine room. You have these huge flywheels that it's basically a room with a bunch of steam engines in it, and that would create air. So there's steam engines and air compressors, but also these gigantic flywheels. And every time the flywheels would revolve, that's what would push the generated air up and out of the building so it could be heated and then blast into the furnace to get to really high temperatures. So we've had reports of people being sucked into those flywheels because you realize they would revolve around 37 times in 1 minute. And we're talking about a 20-foot flywheel. So
you didn't stand a chance when you stood by one of those in. I don't care. There you are.
I heard it takes about 10 minutes to shut those down. So, it would get 37 revolutions in 1 minute, and you're stuck.
Oh. You'd be hamburger meat.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be real pretty. So of the hauntings, I know that, Schloss has been on, I swear it's been on Ghost Adventures. I think it was on Ghost Hunters, but I can't remember because I really just kind of watched Ghost Adventures. But, they were having some really cool stuff happening to them where there were even an apparition that they had seen above, like looking down on them. I guess the supervisors used to walk over these like catwalk-like things, and kind of check on the men and check on the work and see what was going on. And I think they saw an apparition of someone standing up on there while they were there, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, I've watched so many freaking shows that I can't remember who got what, But just the things that Blaine told me. He was telling me that, the tunnels were very, very scary, that grown men had run out of there, and this is his words verbatim, crying like little bitches. and that there's been scratching. There's been, reports of physical, like stuff getting chunked at you or, things like that. He also told me and anybody that's listening that's going to Schloss is going to do the investigations with us. Be prepared to get dirty, okay? It's going to be freaking cold in February. It's going to be cold, and it's going to be dirty. So Blaine said to wear some clothes you don't even care that they get jacked up because it's going to be – it is a dirty job. I mean, my God, it was, it was small furnaces,
right.
So, tell us a little bit about some of the other claims that are around the actual, I know there's so many, but, we can probably go on all night, but tell us a couple of the actual claims and things that you've actually witnessed yourself, if any.
I actually, because I'm there all hours of the day and night,
right?
I choose not to, I guess I choose not to believe. Because
okay, that was another question I was going to ask you. Are you a believer or a skeptic?
I choose not to believe. I guess from being involved from the historical standpoint and truly trying to know what happened down there, so we can educate the people that tour, the people that come in that want to know about Florida. So I guess I'm so consumed with what happened and the history, and I don't know that I just really think about it that way, because again, when people come to me, and they tell me these things, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's like where I work, that's
that's like I walk there every day.
And so, I don't know. I guess I'm just like, oh, that was just. That weird noise, that was just the rats down here,
Yeah, they make real loud noises like that, don't they, the rats? Yeah, that's real. You keep telling yourself that stuff. No, I mean, seriously, though, it has to have something to it if there's so many investigators that, like, when I mentioned, when Blaine found out that we were going to Sloss, he was, like, salivating at the mouth because he said that place is the most awesome. And I'm like, well, you know, Blaine is like me. He's been all over the place, and he's investigated some really creepy places. And if someone like him says, oh, that place is amazing, you know, it is. I have a bucket list. Of course, it's 3 pages freaking long because there's so many haunted places in the world. Sloss is number, like, 10.
Nice.
Sorry. Excuse me. We've had a cough going around our house last week, so anyway. But, you know, when other investigators salivate, you know, at coming to Sloss, there's got to be something to it. So you would say you're a skeptic, and nothing has happened to sway you otherwise, that you've been there at all, or even make you think, ooh, maybe?
Well, I guess I'm so, you know, being a part of Sloss for as long as I have been, I would say when I first started down there, I keep saying down there, I guess, because I'm at home and
right.
I'm not at Sloss. Well, so when I started working at Sloss, it took me a while to feel comfortable with, like, going into the blower engine room by myself, if that gives you any indication. So, you know, it did take me a while to not feel, I would always feel, I guess, a little uneasy.
Like maybe you were being looked at, or maybe you were just not alone kind of feeling.
Right. And sometimes I would catch things out of the corner of my eye, and it would cause me, you know, to do a double take. Did I really see something? And then, of course, nothing would be there. But, you know, and I guess now that I've been there so long, maybe I'm just a little desensitized to it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It sounds like you're kind. You've tried to debunk it so much in your head that you just don't even buy it. You're just like, whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes I will, though, when I go in the blower engine room. I'm like, if you're with me, I come and pee. You know,
I come and pee.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you tell them that. At least they're not thinking you're going to start hollering at them like some folks can, you know, do. And that's one thing that I would suggest, highly suggest, actually, for the people that are going to Sloss, going to do the investigation. I wouldn't try to provoke. Just saying. It's not a good idea at any location, but at a location where there's been reports of violent, maybe even touching, scratching, throwing stuff at, you know, hitting, whatever, pushing. If it makes a grown man run out crying, I would suggest being as respectful as you can to a spirit if they're already kind of cranky. Yeah. Definitely wouldn't go in there provoking. Now, the people that have come and you've done tours, you do tours during the day. Is that correct? I mean, do you do them all week? Do you do them on the weekends? Just in case some of the people want to check it out.
Yeah, we mainly during the week we have the larger, you know, school groups. We bring in thousands of school kids.
Wow.
School year. Yeah, and it fits in so well with, you know, the Industrial Revolution and Alabama history. So we get a lot of school kids in. But on the weekends, it's a little more, you know, I guess, maybe probably nicer to come because it's not so crazy with kids and things like that. And on Saturday and Sunday at 1, 2, and 3 p.m., we offer free guided tours.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, so a lot of people come over the weekend and, you know, bring, you know, visitors from out of state. We have visitors from all over the world, you know, that come and tour Sloss. So I would highly recommend going on the second weekend of every month because we have Dr. Richard Neely who does the tours, and he is phenomenal. He has so many stories about, you know, not only the accidents, but about all kinds of things that happened at Sloss. And so if anybody out there is interested in touring, do it on the second weekend of each month because he is fantastic.
Wow. You know, It's amazing to find someone that has so much, what do we say, a plethora of information. I have a friend like that. Her name's Lisa Martin, and she's up in Missouri. She's an author. She's a lawyer. She's a paranormal investigator. And you talk about a history buff, okay? You and her could probably have major conversations because this woman can run off everything about the Kendrick House and not get it confused with the Carthage Opera House or the, Fort Scott. And I'm like, wow, you're freaking amazing. But being a history buff and being from that area and things like that, and not only is there Sloss there that's haunted, is there other places outside of Sloss that possibly they could check out while we're there before we get to do the actual event? Now, everybody, the events are Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th. That just so happens to fall on Valentine's weekend, but Friday the 13th is going to be so cool. But it's from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., and the tickets are $80 a piece, and you can get them at slossfurnaces.com. That's their website. That's where you get the tickets for this. But where, when they're all there, what are some of the highlights around that area for them to check out when we're not at Sloss?
Birmingham really kind of has it going on. So we kind of have a lot of things to offer. So people should totally check out, if they're wanting to do kind of a history-related, a Sloss-related. So experience, we have Rustner Mountain. That is a really cool place to go to hike and see the mines that,
wow.
Sent the ingredients to places like Sloss. So I encourage people to kind of start there, come to Sloss, see the industrial process, and then go to Vulcan Park and Museum. And Vulcan is the largest cast iron sculpture in the world. And he was cast in 1904 with different foundry iron. Sloss iron actually went into making the base of the statue, and so you can go and visit Vulcan, and he is on top of Red Mountain, which gives you a spectacular view of the city.
Wow.
So it's kind of like when you visit Ruffner, that kind of is the beginning of the process. You go to Sloss, and then you go to Vulcan, and then that shows you what that iron and steel industry created. Look at the city that it created. So that's kind of more of a chronological process. Then we have a fantastic art museum, the Birmingham Museum of Art, and we also have some great breweries around.
Well, I bet a couple of paranormal investigators I know might go to a brewery or two while we're there.
Yeah, and they're all close by Sloss, and Avondale Brewery and Good People Brewery, Sahaba Brewery, Trim Tab. Those are all within a mile of each other around Sloss. So, those are always good places to visit. Now, we have the Alabama Theater. People say it is haunted. I'm not sure exactly how the story goes, but in some area of the theater, apparently, it was a custodian or maybe it was the organ player. Yeah, that's right. It was the organ player that they had the organ in there, and I think he likes to hang out in some parts of the theater still. So they say
cool.
They can see him from time to time, wandering and I guess, still hanging out in the place that he loves. So I know people talk about that. And let's see.
So Sweet Home Alabama with the breweries and everything. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And I saw, a friend of mine just went to actually was in Birmingham not too long ago and was taking pictures. He said that the scenery is beautiful. I've only driven through Alabama on my way to Florida before, and it was only the bottom half of Alabama. So I'm looking really forward to this. But let me get back to Sloss because that's what everybody's listening in about because they want to know so much about Sloss. So out of all the paranormal things that have been reported to you, from teams or, whoever, Zach and Aaron and them, what is the craziest thing that has happened to someone there, or has been reported to you that you know?
Oh, goodness. You're so
I mean, you can tell us 2 or 3. If there's 2 or 3, it's okay.
Well, so not too long ago, there was a team in our powerhouse, and it was a group of, I don't know, 10 or 12 or so sitting around, just doing their session, asking questions, and
right.
then all of a sudden there was a couple of people leaning against just a basic 8-foot wooden table that was set up in there, and they were just kind of leaning against it, and they said that all of a sudden the table just lifted off the ground and banged down to the floor again. So someone stood at like one of the ends and picked it up and dropped it.
Okay, can I ask you who this, because I think I might know the group of people that were there. Would it be Chip Coffey?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Would it be Justin Spurrier?
There's Adam Barry. And
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because Chip, that happened right before Chip and I met when we were filming Shadows on 66, which was done in Galena, Kansas. He had I had just picked him up at the airport, and he said actually he had to change his britches because that scared the mess out of him.
Yeah.
He said a few expletives. He said, and we won't repeat those, but he said that scared the mess out of him, and he had to change his little drawers, I think, or got close to it. So that happened at Sloss. I forgot exactly where he said that happened, and how funny is that? Yeah, he said it was a really thick table, and they were doing flashlight sessions. There were equipment all over the table, and the table just lifted up and slammed down, and the equipment went everywhere, and everybody's like, what the? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So that happened where at Schloss?
It was in our powerhouse. That's where they were converting steam to electricity. So that's a cool little building.
Okay.
We had another group, and it was a year before that kind of same group was out, and in our ladle car track area, they saw a man. They called him the Light Man, or something. I can't remember exactly what they called him, but it's like he had a helmet with a lantern on it.
Oh yeah.
And
a miner's hat, a miner's
right.
helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he walked out onto the track basically, and then just kind of walked right into the side of the casting shed, which is a concrete wall. So he just kind of, walked.
Disappeared into the wall.
And disappeared into the wall. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking extremely forward to it now. I mean, I have been, and I've been counting down the days, and Carol said, hey, your flight, you're going to get there early, you can check it out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, my God, I can't wait. The thing that I'm most nervous about is Blaine is real adamant about do not go anywhere alone. And why is that? I mean, do you have a reason for that, too, or is that just pretty much Blaine, or you just don't suggest going anywhere alone there?
Right. No, you shouldn't, because what's really interesting and important about Sloth, I think, is it was left exactly the way it was, on its last day of production. So the preservation, when it happened, it was basically to preserve the existing structures and not to alter anything. So there's some really kind of dark nooks and crannies that, you could get off in, and, no one would know you were ever there, so you're going to an old industrial site. So,
yeah,
you have to be careful how you walk through in some places, because there's some low-hanging pipes and, different types of machines and things like that. So, you just need to be very careful when you walk through, and we're on 32 acres. So, if you get away from someone, no one's going to know where you are or could hear you if you happen to try to call out for help,
Yeah.
So,
and you may not get a signal either.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That is something that he said, not only is it, it still could be rather dangerous. As far as some of the steps, there's, like some good divots here and there that, you may jack yourself up on. And, it's just not a good idea to go anywhere investigating alone, period. I don't care where you are, but if it's a dangerous, location or, a location that you could get easily messed up, yeah, don't ever go alone. We don't have to wear steel-toe shoes or anything like that, but flip-flops, not really a good idea. Yeah, Blaine was like, please let everybody know not to wear flip-flops for this thing. Sandals, not okay. Tennis shoes that you don't care about getting jacked up, okay. Boots, yay.
Mm-hmm.
Flip-flops, sandals, not so much.
No stilettos either.
Yeah, no, let's not do those. That always kills me when I see a girl with stilettos at an investigation. I'm like, you are going to be so miserable in about 2 hours. You know what I mean? You're going to be crying to take those shoes off, and I'm going to be crying for you to take them off because they're going in my EVPs. So, yeah, no stilettos. But what else has gone on there? What can we actually expect for the event? I mean, we have gotten some really good sponsors, I have to let everybody know. Burger King is sponsoring the sloth event, and if I'm not mistaken, Coca-Cola is also signed on board. I haven't gotten the confirmation on that from Carol yet, but I know that that Burger King is definitely so. I'm all about the Burger King. Days In, also, she wanted me to let y'all know and to tell you as well. Days In is working with us on a group rate for the event. If you tell them that you're with Dark Side for the Sloth Furnaces event, they will give you a room for $49 a night. Now, yeah, that's incredible. The address for this place is 1485 Montgomery Highway. It's the Days In, $49 a night. Now, on top of this, Carol said they're throwing in 2 conference rooms for us to be able to review our evidence at night. Or before we go to the next, if we do both days, you can go in there the next morning and review your evidence before you go back that night. They're giving us 2 rooms to review evidence, which is completely cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anybody that's listening, it will be the Days In. Speakers will be there as well. $49 a night. It's 1485 Montgomery Highway. Their phone number is 205-823-4300. Make sure you tell them Dark Side Sloth Furnaces event. Heather, what do you do like on a daily basis? What's your life like at Sloth? I mean, do you like go in and do tours all day? Do you do more history, promo? I mean, what does the director of programs at Sloth Furnace do all day?
Well, I do a little bit of everything. So some days, especially during the school years, I can be giving tours all day long. Sometimes I take my presentations to libraries and to schools. I also run the metal arts department. So you realize we still cast iron at Sloth. In our number 2 casting shed area, we have a fully functioning metal arts foundry. So we do blacksmithing, we do welding, we cast iron, bronze, aluminum, sometimes pewter. So my day is spent either, doing the historical tours, or sometimes we do iron pour field trips. So when the school kids come in, they get to design a little cast iron trivet.
Cool.
Yeah, so the metal arts program and, the history go hand in hand because people actually get to, see the iron cast. We could talk about it all day long, but to actually see it, people then, kind of realize exactly how dangerous it was.
And how hard of work it really was. I mean, that was some hard labor. Definitely hard labor.
Yeah. And so sometimes we take our metal arts crew and our furnaces out on the road to do festivals and things like that. I write a lot of grants for programming. I'm just kind of all over the place.
Wow. So, I was thinking, if she says she just chills all day long, I want her job. You're at the most coolest haunted place in the U.S., and what I can't believe is that you're still skeptical about it. I can't believe something hasn't, really just blown you away at that place of all places. And, I went to this, Stanley Hotel was top 5. And I just went to the Stanley Hotel with Chip, actually, in the Lost Limbs Foundation. And I had the most incredible, scary experience I don't ever want to have again. Mm-hmm. But, the Stanley, watching The Shining, and I know it wasn't all filmed there and all this other stuff, but just the whole entire ambiance of the place and everything. It was everything that I had thought it was, and then some, and then some. And so I'm thinking that because you're a skeptic, I'm thinking that I'm not going to know all the cool stuff because you don't really believe in it. So I'm going to have to come see for myself. And I'm betting that the sloth is going to be more than what I bargained for. I'm just kind of having that feeling because, like I said, if Blaine, he's a veteran. If Blaine's saying, girl, this place is off the chain, that's kind of a major kudos to you guys from a paranormal standpoint. Because there's a lot of places we go that it's a lot of hype, and we go and we pay money to go to these places, and then they suck,
Right.
That has not been the reviews that I've gotten of Sloth at all. Everyone I've talked to, from girlfriends to just people that don't even know about the paranormal and just see the Ghost Adventure shows, like, man, Sloth, that is a scary place. And I can't believe you're going to go. And I'm like, oh, my God, the creepier the better.
Mm-hmm. It can be, you can kind of have some creepy feelings in the middle of the day,
Oh, yeah.
It's not just so creepy at night, So it's totally, it's something else. I mean, you can't just find it anywhere else. So it has its own ambiance, totally. I think, even at night, it has this glow about it. It's just a very, very unique, wonderful place to be.
Yeah, that's crazy that, you say that it's the wonderful, a really wonderful place to be, and other people are like, oh, my God, I'm never going back to that place again because they got the crap scared out of them. A friend of mine said she actually saw apparitions and actual light anomalies down in the boiler room and had some really amazing, that's actually one of her first major paranormal experiences was at Sloth. So there are so many good things that I've heard about, exciting things about the paranormal. The history behind it is extremely interesting, with the clackers and things like that. And I'm just really excited to come. So when we come to the event and when we're doing the investigations, where are we going to have full access, or are there places that we don't get to go in, or can you tell us a little bit about what to expect and where we can investigate?
Yeah, so when you guys come in, you will have access to all of the major areas that would have, been a very important part of the process and making iron. So you'll have full access to, really the entire site. We have some smaller buildings that we use for storage, and you really can't get in those. But, those were just like a machine shop or something like that. So you get to go to all the places where the major action was happening, where all the workers would have been, and the important parts of the process, like the blower engine room. And you get to go, by the boilers and up to the furnace and, all those really, interesting little nooks and crannies. We talked about we call it the maze area. It's in between the blower engine room and the boilers. And it's a really, really interesting part of the site. It's all these pipes, and I mean, it's just, how does it all work, you know? And it's really interesting because when you go in that part, it's just so surprisingly quiet to be, you know, near the First Avenue Viaduct runs, you know, along the parallel to our property. So you hear the cars driving over the bridge all the time, but when you kind of get in that little area, you can't hear the cars. It's almost like you've gone underwater or something. It's a really interesting little place. So you'll have access to the hot blast stoves where they were heating the air. And, you know, it's hard to explain without actually seeing the place. So you get full access to all parts of Sloss, and, you know, all the major important areas that, you know, the really dangerous work was happening.
That is so cool. And, you know, the people that are coming to this, a lot of people are really excited. I have a few of my friends that actually said, I'm going. It's my birthday weekend. I want to do something amazing. You know, I'm all into that's what I do for my birthday, go into the haunted location and investigating. This location got so many things that have happened, so many claims of apparitions and light anomalies and you know, photographs. Do you remember, or can you think of any EVPs or electronic voice phenomena that were picked up, you know, voices from the other side? Do they tell you about any of those? I mean, do you have any reports of? Okay.
It's a lot of, it seems like in my experience and hearing what others have to say, you know, names really trigger. So EVPs with names, asking questions, they'll usually get, or, you know, like if you people ask who, you know, who's here, who's in the room with us, or, you know, things like that, and you get a lot of names out of that. And, you know, things like, you know, we've had, you know, again, those kind of negative, you know, get out, get away, you know, go away, things like that. So
that always makes me wonder. It's like, dude, you're dead. We're here trying to talk to you, and nobody's going to talk to you, and you're telling us to get out. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a cranky butt. You know, you would think they would want to get their story out there. That's why probably when you're doing the EVPs at Sloss, and there were so many freaking workers there, they're probably coming through like crazy, like with their names, like, this is Tom, and this is, you know, Harry, and whoever. Anything else, like, I mean, besides, have they been really ugly, like dropping F-bombs or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, not that I've heard.
Yeah, we've had a couple of spirits that like to drop the F-bomb, and I'm like, yeah, you know, you really don't have to get all nasty like that. You know, we're just trying to communicate with you, but, you know, they say if they're cranky in life, they're going to probably be cranky on the other side as well. So you being a skeptic, this is kind of off the cuff a little bit, but do you believe in reincarnation? I mean, do you believe that we come back in another form, or do you just believe that we get one and done?
I think one and done. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I guess I've never really thought about that, but I you know, I just, for some reason, whatever reason, in my heart of hearts, I just think it's a one and done.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I like hearing different points of view, and, you know, the way I was raised, and because my mom was Blackfoot and Cherokee Indian, not full blood, but, you know, had enough in her that they really did believe in the spirit world. Yeah, and my great-great-grandmother was actually, I believe, a medicine woman type in her tribe, and could actually tell people, you're pregnant, you're going to have this, and they wouldn't even know they were pregnant. Well, my mom got that same ability. I, on the other hand, and what I'll be speaking about at Sloss, is being an empath. where I can actually feel people's emotions and things like that. Now, the spirit, is a ball of energy. Mm-hmm. We are made up of energy. Well, energy doesn't die. So that's where I think that the energy goes into something else. Mm-hmm. May not be human form every time, but I do believe that energy ball goes somewhere. And our body is a shell, and yes, it can be cremated or buried, but the energy that's inside of us never dies. So that's where I kind of have I'm not real sure either, but I'm thinking that, yeah, we probably do come back. But, other people believe, one and done, baby. You got one chance to get this puppy right. You better walk the straight line. Can you tell people a little bit? I kind of went over it a little bit. Some people may just be tuning in. Can you tell them how to get tickets for this event?
Yeah, you can go to our website. It's slothfurnaces.com and click on our events tab, and you'll see the different days listed. And you just simply get the tickets for whatever day that you want, and it's super simple to register online. So you just have to go to slothfurnaces.com and click the events tab, and then see one or both days.
Okay. The talent that's actually there, that's what they call us as speakers, is the talent. Really, we're just speakers and investigators that are going to be there helping out with the investigations, and we'll probably break up into groups and do certain, areas and switch out. The things that we're going to be doing, I don't exactly know how you and Carol have it set up for the speaking part of it, and I guess that will be starting at 3. And then we'll probably speak up until a certain time, and then probably have a little break, and then come back and investigate. Is that kind of how it's going to go? Because I really don't even know. Okay.
Yeah, and we haven't actually, really fine-tuned the details, but we'll probably have the talk in our main casting shed. So we have a stage in there, so that's a good place to do the talk, and so we'll do that talk, and then after that, like I said, we'll probably have a little break. There will be vendors on site selling items. We have beverages. One vendor is bringing coffee and different types of coffees and drinks and things like that. So you'd have a chance to do a little shopping and then break off into those groups and actually have your investigation time.
Yes, can't wait for that. And again, ground cover. So I know that's why we need 2 nights, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get. We're going to come a night early so we can kind of get a game plan going. But it's going to be a lot to tackle for each night. For the location and how many steps you got to take. I'm sure I'll be meeting my quality burned steps taken every day. I've been measuring that. So I bet I'll meet that and exceed that those 2 days. But I really appreciate you taking time out of your evening to come on and tell us all about sloth. And I'm extremely excited to actually get to meet you and to see the location. It's going to be amazing, and I really feel in my heart of hearts that it's going to be more than I bargained for. Just like I thought Stanley was just, we'll see. Stanley's all that, but it is. And I've heard sloth is the same way. So, like we said, if you want tickets to this event, go to slothfurnaces.com. Click on their events tab. It's really easy to purchase the event date, whatever you want, either Friday or Saturday or both, either one. And like we said, Burger King and Coca-Cola are our sponsors. If you have any questions, I'm sure you can shoot Heather an email through the Sloth Furnaces website. And I really appreciate you being on tonight, Heather.
Oh, it was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime, and we'll be discussing a lot more in person when I see you in February.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for you guys to come.
All right, Heather. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
All right. Well.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening tonight. That was Heather Nowak, Director of Programs for Sloth Furnaces. Again, that event by Dark Side Entertainment is going to be held February 13th and 14th. Birmingham, Alabama, Sloth Furnaces. Tickets, www.slothfurnaces.com. Events tab. Easy to purchase. $80 a day, 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. Friday and Saturday, we got the whole place to check out and investigate. It will be epic, so you cannot miss it. Again, tickets for Sloth Furnaces are at slothfurnaces.com. Next week, I will have Santiago Cirillo on my show. He is from The Walking Dead. He's an actor. He's also trying to do a new project called Veterans Homecoming. I want to talk to him about a lot of that stuff. He'll also be at the Tombstone event that Darkside's putting on in May. So please join me next week for Santiago. He'll be on at 6 p.m. Central. We have a whole hour with him. And I want to thank my sponsor, which is Syntex Root Systems in Waco, Texas. They do it all. And I want to thank everyone that has listened. If you would please go to Close to Death Facebook page, give it a like, keep up with the guests that are coming on. We'll have all the speakers from Sloth Furnace on in the month of January until the actual event in February. Please check all the schedules and for the guests that will be on. Again, next week is Santiago Cirillo, which is from The Walking Dead. Again, thanks a lot. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Be safe. Peace out.